My fellow YouTubians, how are we today? Zed here, bringing you a match. Once again, this one today is an Ubers game. It is against none other than QuackPenguinX himself. I believe we had quite a few matches in the past, like 2 or 3 as it is. And he's always a good opponent, fun to play and stuff. So I'm just using the same Ubers team as I've been using in 5th gen for a while. I've only really had one Ubers team in 5th gen, so it's pretty much how I'm going to roll until I make a new one, which I should try and work on soon, but we'll see how that goes and see if that does happen, which it probably will eventually. But I'm just going to roll with this for now. So we are both in fact going to lead off with Groudons. The most obvious play is to set up Stealth Rock, so both of us are going to be as obvious as they come, and we're both going to set up our Stealth Rock. This is not the best situation for me because I do have a Ho-Oh in my team, and Ho-Oh, that thing's not going to be very nice taking Stealth Rock. So what I want to do first of all is to predict the Earthquake, go to Ho-Oh, hopefully take Stealth Rock damage and then roost up on the following turn. However, what happens here completely surprises me because his Groudon does not Earthquake me, does in fact go for the Dragon Tail. Now, very fortunately, I actually managed to dodge the Dragon Tail, but had that connected, I think Ho-Oh would have been even more dead meat than it would normally be, because it would have to take another Stealth Rock hit and probably die. But in the long run, Dragon Tail miss is not going to matter whatsoever. He's going to bring in his Arceus here, which is a rock form, and I was on the stream when this battle happened. I was streaming, so I didn't want to take time out to go and check on Cerebi and check what form it was, and it turns out it's Rock Arceus, Rock Arceus, it's Rockin' Arceus, it's just Rock, and his judgment is Rock, obviously, so that's terrible. That just makes me so terribly sad. And Ho-Oh dies, so obviously the Dragon Tail miss didn't really matter there because, you know, eventually he died anyway. So I bring in my Deoxys D because his Rock-type Arceus won't be able to do much to me as soon as I set the Reflect up. So I'm going to set up my Reflect first, and I'm kind of surprised I outspeed Giratina Origin form, but I outspeed it, get out my Light Screen as he Calm Mind, so I'm thinking, okay, Calm Mind Giratina, he doesn't have a Life Orb because he has to have that Orb, so he's not too powerful, but he can always be a threat. So what I want to do is throw a Toxic on him first of all. I know I can Recover Stall him with the Light Screen, and Deoxys defense is great defensive, plus the, you know, Toxic everything wearing down, but surprisingly he actually goes for a Substitute, which I was just like, okay. I got kind of lucky there that Toxic both hit and that I was faster, but there you go, that's what happens. Now, I had a couple of options here. I could have stayed in with my Deoxys and stalled him out until Toxic killed him. That was a possible option with Light Screen still up. I knew that I could definitely stay in, Recover Stall him for all eternity. But it was a stream, I didn't really want to Recover Stall, so my second option was to go to Dialga. Now in this scenario, I can take at least 2 hits, super effective or not. The first one was a Dragon Pulse, which I took relatively well, plus the Light Screen boost and the lack of stab on Aura Sphere. I'm going to be able to live the Aura Sphere relatively nicely and phase him out. So he's now lost his Substitute and his Calm Mind, so that's just perfect. He is Toxic, so later on in the game he won't be able to do as much to me. He'll die much quicker. So in that scenario, it wasn't stalling, I was getting rid of him and not posing a threat to my team, and I bring in Ferrothorn, which is obviously going to be weak to the Flamethrower that I'm going to throw at him. So knowing that, he's going to go to Giratina thinking that he can live a Flamethrower in the sun plus a Toxic damage, which he does in fact manage to do. It is on like -2 smidgens after the Toxic damage, but that is very useful because it means that he can still get a hit on me. So he is he's great that he can live. I mean, on his part, that's great. But obviously, Aura Sphere is what he's gonna do. So that's what he does. I knew he was gonna go for it, so I'm gonna go to Deoxys defense. He could have been a bit ballsy and gone for the Dragon Pulse. I mean, it probably would have done a nice amount to my Dialga. Wouldn't have taken him out, but would have done a nice amount. But Aura Sphere was the safe play there, so he obviously went for it, and Deoxys D brushes it off the shoulder like it were nothing. So Ferrothorn obviously either wants to Leech Seed me or Thunder Wave me or set up some more hazards. So any of those 3 options Dialga is perfect for. Leech Seed is fine because I'm going to die very soon anyway. Thunder Wave is fine because I'm slow as dirt. Well, I'm not slow as dirt, but I'm a walling set, so I'm going to be slow regardless, and I'm going to die anyway. and setting up hazards I can't really do much about, so Dalga is the best option all around. I have Flamethrower to threaten him out with, and I also have Dragon Pulse if I wanted to predict a switch, or even Thunder Wave one of his own pokes. Now, in comes Rayquaza, and I in fact decided to go for the Flamethrower. Just want to go for the safe play. I didn't want him staying in, leech seeding me, predicting my over prediction, so therefore I'm going to stay in, go for the safe Flamethrower. Obviously it wouldn't do as much as it usually would, because Rayquaza obviously gets rid of the Sun Boost, so Flamethrower wouldn't do as much as normal. Obviously, you know, Sun Boost gone. So here the safest thing to do was to stay in. Now, I know that he could probably have either set up a Swords Dance or a Dragon Dance at that point, and he does have Life Orb, so wearing him down with one Life Orb recoil is great, just killing me, and I didn't want him to set up any sort of dances, either Swords or Dragon, so I was going to stay in, Dragon Pulse him, but he does go for the safe play and Earthquake me, take me down. Now, at this point, he's going to go for the Swords Dance, and I predicted either a Dragon Dance or a Swords Dance. I wasn't sure which set he was running, but I knew that Reflect would be the best situation, the best move for me to go the best move for me to use in this current situation, as he's setting up all over me and he's up to +4 at this point. But you have to keep in mind two things. One, I managed to get the Toxic on him as he gets greedy and goes for the +4. Secondarily, he has the Life Orb, which means that overall, he is eventually going to die after Life Orb and Toxic wear him out. So it was an easy way of taking him down. I lose Deoxys in the process, but Reflect is still up, and I do have a very, very bulky Groudon. So even though he's at +4, a Stab Dragon Claw is not going to do as much as he would like, thanks to my Reflect, and I'm actually going to live it with just over half. So I have the Dragon Claw. I couldn't really have gone for anything else apart from Dragon Claw at this point, so there you go. I'm just going to take him out. He would have died next turn regardless, but you know, it's nice to be able to get rid of him early and not take another hit. So there you go, the Rayquaza is down, and at this point he doesn't have too much else to scare me with. He has this Arceus, and as long as I keep it under control, don't let it Swords Dance, then I should be okay. I shouldn't have too much problem with it, I really don't know what he wanted to do. I knew I resisted Stab Judgment because it's Rock type, and I thought, you know, he might want to set up, so he may Swords Dance at this point. So I was like, okay, I just want to slow him down. If I slow him down, I know that my Zekrom, my Reshiram can handle him later on, especially, you know, with the sun and everything. So that's just what I wanted to do, get the Thunder Wave on him, and at this point, I'm just going to Earthquake him with Burn, hopefully wait for him to die eventually to whatever, you know, this weakened Earthquake that I'm throwing at him. But he doesn't seem to be liking this situation. He got Power Hacked once. I'm not sure what he was going to do on that Power Hacked turn, but I'm not sure it would have been that consequential to the overall match. I can't quite remember what his narration was on that side, but there you go, that's what happens, and Power Hacks bites you in the ass sometimes. So in comes his Groudon. Really, I don't want Groudon to do much else in this match, so best thing to do is stay in, Earthquake him, get him down as low as possible, to the point at which I can bring in my own sort of end game sweeper, as it were, in Specs Reshiram, and just tidy up the field. So he's going to crit me there, which is not going to really matter too much in the long run. I've got Sun up, I have Specs on Reshiram, and I have Fusion Flare. So in comes Reshiram, and this is where he's just going to sweep the field clean. Fusion Flare is going to one-shot the Groudon. Specs, you know, is monstrous, modest Specs. Timid Specs, sorry, it's Timid Specs. It's still monstrous, though, because Rock Arceus does resist me, but dies, and Blaziken, just get the hell out, you know, whatever, just die. So I believe his last is Ferrothorn, and he does not want it to take approximately 12 million damage from that hit, so he's just going to run away, because Ferrothorn obviously would have died horribly and monstrously in that current situation. But there you go, it was a really, really good match, definitely a lot of fun. It just seems Uber's games in general have a lot more sort of, for me anyway, a lot more sort of prediction and stuff going on, and just interesting things. So anyway, I will try and get this up as soon as I can, which should be today, which is like the Tuesday I'm recording this on. And I would very much appreciate it if you leave me a like on the video if you enjoyed it. I think approximately like 2% of my subscriber base leaves me a like, which is kind of, you know, not very much, and I'm sure more people than that enjoy the video. So if you did actually just enjoy it, just leave that. It helps me out a great deal and will help other people find this stuff. Otherwise, go to my Facebook page, my Twitter page, and all the links that you love in the description. I will see you guys next time on Let's Narrate a Battle with Zed. Guten Tag, people.